Welcome to another video of Chills and Thrills Diaries. Today we will mention the most haunted establishments in the US since it's almost Valentine's Day. Maybe you'd want to visit one of these restaurants if you're into paranormal activities. Turner's Seafood in Salem, Massachusetts is housed in Lyceum Hall, a historic building with a reputation for being haunted. The most famous ghost said to linger there is Bridget Bishop, one of the first people executed during the Salem witch trials in 1692. Reported paranormal activity at Turner's Seafood. 1. Bridget Bishop's spirit. Many believe her ghost haunts the location because her apple orchard once stood where Lyceum Hall was built. Staff and visitors report the scent of apples lingering in the air, even when no apples are present. 2. Mysterious shadows and figures. People have claimed to see shadowy figures moving around the restaurant, particularly in dimly lit areas. 3. Disembodied voices and whispers. Employees and diners have reported hearing strange whispers and voices when no one else is around. 4. Objects moving on their own. Glasses and silverware have been seen shifting without explanation. 5. Electrical disturbances, lights flickering, sudden temperature drops, and other odd occurrences are frequently mentioned. Because of its haunted reputation, Turner's Seafood is often featured in ghost tours and paranormal investigations around Salem. Many visitors come as much for the ghostly encounters as they do for the seafood. Would you ever visit to see if you experience anything paranormal? Scarlett O'Hara's in St. Augustine, Florida, is known not just for its Southern-style food and drinks, but also for its ghostly activity. The restaurant and bar, housed in a historic building from 1879, has a long-standing reputation for paranormal encounters. Haunted history of Scarlett O'Hara's. 1. The ghost of George Coley. The most famous ghost at Scarlett O'Hara's is said to be George Coley, the original owner of the house. According to legend, George was found dead in a bathtub under mysterious circumstances. Some say it was suicide, while others suspect foul play. According to folklore, George Coley started work on the first house on the property for his fiancée, but before he could complete it, she ran off with a soldier. Eventually, Coley fell in love again and married another woman. A few weeks later, Coley's body was discovered in the upstairs bathtub, drowned. Legend has it that his first fiancée, a jealous, unstable woman, had her new man murder Coley. His spirit is believed to linger in the upstairs bathroom in that bar area, where faucets reportedly turn on by themselves. 2. Cold spots and unexplained touches. Visitors and staff have felt sudden chills, even in Florida's hot weather. Some have reported being touched or pushed by an unseen presence. 3. Disembodied voices and laughter. People claim to hear ghostly voices and laughter when the restaurant is nearly empty. Some whispers seem to come from nowhere, making patrons uneasy. 4. Moving objects and lights. Flickering. Bar stools, glasses, and silverware have been known to shift without reason. Lights flicker, and doors sometimes open or close on their own. Because of its haunted reputation, Scarlett O'Hara's is a regular stop on St. Augustine's ghost tours. Some visitors stop by just to see if they experience anything supernatural. Would you be brave enough to visit at night? The Walker House in Mineral Point, Wisconsin, is one of the most haunted locations in the state, with a long history of paranormal activity. Built in 1836, it has served as an inn, a brewery, a mining office, and even a funeral parlor. Its history, combined with Wisconsin's rich mining past, has led to numerous ghostly encounters. Rumor has claimed that William Caffey, a man who was hanged nearby for murder, is one of these spirits. Thousands of people arrived for a picnic as they morbidly watched Caffey's public execution and moment of death. A group of paranormal investigators rented out the building structure in 2009 to identify ghostly activity. Unfortunately, neither the audio nor the video equipment managed to capture any ghosts. All that was captured was the sound of the creek and the outside traffic. That didn't stop rumors of a haunting from spreading, and now the current owners appear to be distancing themselves from the building's eerie reputation. Haunted history of the Walker House. 1. The spirits of Cornish miners. Mineral Point was heavily settled by Cornish miners, many of whom worked and lived near the Walker House. Guests and staff report seeing shadowy figures and hearing the sounds of pickaxes striking rock, as if the spirits of the miners are still working underground. 2. The Lady in White. A ghostly woman in a white dress has been seen wandering the halls and appearing in windows. Some believe she was connected to the Walker House's time as a funeral home, possibly a grieving widow or a spirit lingering from a past burial. 3. Disembodied voices and phantom footsteps. Guests often hear whispers, voices, and footsteps when no one else is around. Loud banging on the walls has been reported, sometimes waking up overnight guests. 4. Mysterious, cold spots and flickering lights. Certain rooms in the Walker House experience unexplained temperature drops, even in the middle of summer. Lights flicker without reason, and electrical disturbances occur frequently. Would you ever spend the night there, or do you prefer your ghost stories from a safe distance? With the tale of James Cooper, a previous owner of the building, the legend of this old home becomes even more sinister. Ghost City Tours claims Cooper's wife was discovered dead, strangled, above the restaurant. Cooper was charged with her murder and appeared in court, but the jury ruled him innocent. Strangely, a short time later, Cooper's body was also discovered dead from strangulation in a room above the restaurant. Haunted history of the Court of Two Sisters. 1. The spirits of the two sisters, Bertha and Emma Camors. The restaurant is named after two real sisters, Bertha and Emma Camors, who ran a shop in the building in the late 1800s. They were known for their fortune-telling and had a deep interest in mysticism and the occult. Many believe their spirits still linger, watching over the place they loved. Some guests report feeling a gentle touch on their shoulders, as if one of the sisters is still welcoming visitors. 2. Shadowy figures and ghostly apparitions. Staff and diners have reported seeing shadowy figures moving through the dining rooms and courtyard. A woman in an old-fashioned dress has been seen gliding near the staircase. Some believe she could be one of the sisters or another lingering spirit from the building's past. 3. Mysterious cold spots and unexplained voices. Sudden cold chills have been felt, even on hot New Orleans days. Visitors and workers claim to hear whispers, laughter, and soft singing, as if spirits are enjoying the restaurant's lively atmosphere. 4. Poltergeist activity. Objects moving on their own. Silverware has been known to shift on tables without anyone touching it. Chairs have reportedly moved when no one was around. Some employees claim that doors open and close on their own late at night. Would you visit for the experience, or do ghostly encounters give you the chills? Shaker's Cigar Bar in Milwaukee, Wisconsin is often called Milwaukee's most haunted bar, and for good reason. Built in 1894, this historic building has been everything from a speakeasy during Prohibition to a mob-run brothel, and many believe spirits of its past still linger. Haunted history of Shaker's Cigar Bar. 1. The ghost of Molly, the brothel girl. One of the most well-known spirits is Molly, a young woman who was allegedly murdered in the 1920s when the building was a brothel controlled by the Chicago mob. She was killed and buried in the basement, and her spirit is said to be restless. Visitors and employees have reported feeling uneasy in the basement, hearing whispers, and even seeing Molly's apparition near the bar. 2. The third-floor paranormal hotspot. The third floor was once the site of several violent deaths. People who enter this area claim to feel intense dread, experience cold spots, and even see shadowy figures moving about. The bar's famous ghost tours often highlight this area as one of the most active spots. 3. Mysterious voices and footsteps. Disembodied voices including whispers and full conversations, have been heard when no one is around. Footsteps on the stairs and the sound of someone moving upstairs happen even when the floor is empty. 4. Objects. Moving on, their own bar stools, glasses, and bottles have been seen shifting without explanation. Lights flicker, and some patrons have even felt an unseen hand brush against them while sitting at the bar. A must-visit for ghost hunters and history lovers. Shakers fully embraces its haunted reputation, offering ghost tours, haunted overnight stays, and even seances for those brave enough to connect with the spirits. Would you dare to grab a drink at Shakers, or does the idea of a mobster ghost watching you sip your whiskey sound a little too intense? The Grill House in Allegan, Michigan, is well known for its historic charm, delicious steaks, and ghostly encounters. Originally built in the 1800s, the building served as a boarding house, saloon, and even a brothel, which has led to stories of lingering spirits from its past. Haunted history of the Grill House. 1. The ghost of a murdered lumberjack. Legend has it that a lumberjack was murdered in the building when it was a saloon catering to local loggers. His spirit is said to linger, with many guests and staff reporting strange noises, flickering lights, and cold spots in the bar area. 2. Disembodied voices and laughter. Visitors have heard ghostly laughter and muffled conversations, as if spirits from the past are still gathered around the bar. Some claim to have heard a deep male voice whispering, even when no one else is around. 3. Mysterious shadow figures. Staff and customers have reported seeing shadowy figures moving near the staircases in bar. Some believe these apparitions are former patrons or workers from the boarding house era. 4. Unexplained movements and cold spots. Silverware and glasses have been known to move on their own, sometimes sliding across tables without explanation. Sudden cold drafts appear in certain rooms, even when all doors and windows are closed. A haunted dining experience. The Grill House is a popular stop for ghost hunters and history buffs, with many visitors coming not just for the food, but for a chance to experience the supernatural. Would you be brave enough to enjoy a meal at the Grill House, or would you keep one eye on the exit? The Twisted Vine restaurant in Derby, Connecticut, is not only known for its delicious Italian cuisine and wine selection, but also for being one of the most haunted locations in the state. The building, which dates back to 1892, was originally a bank, and its basement still contains the old vault, a hotspot for paranormal activity. A terrible flood that swept over the area in 1955 killed nearly 100 individuals and is a nightmare scenario that will undoubtedly haunt us. In addition, the rising water uncovered the coffins of dead bodies in a nearby cemetery, bringing them floating to the surface like that dreadful and fabled moment at the conclusion of Poltergeist. The bank was one of the few buildings left standing after the flood at the time. Therefore, the basement served as a makeshift morgue as the city rebuilt following the destruction. Haunted history of Twisted Vine. 1. Ghosts of the Old Bank. The building was once the Birmingham National Bank, and some believe the spirits of former bank employees and customers still linger. Staff have reported seeing shadowy figures moving near the vault and hearing footsteps echoing through the restaurant when no one is there. 2. The Woman in White. A ghostly woman dressed in white has been spotted roaming the dining area and basement. Some believe she may be connected to a tragic event from the building's past, though her identity remains a mystery. 3. Disembodied voices and strange noises. Visitors and workers have heard whispers, laughter, and even their names being called when no one else is nearby. Unexplained banging sounds and knocking have also been reported, especially late at night. 4. Poltergeist activity, moving objects and flickering lights. Silverware, chairs, and glasses have been seen moving on their own. Lights flicker or turn on and off without any electrical explanation. A paranormal dining destination. Twisted Vine embraces its haunted reputation, offering ghost tours and paranormal investigations. Many guests visit hoping for a supernatural encounter while enjoying their meal. Would you dine in the old bank vault, or does the thought of a ghostly presence make you lose your appetite? Ernestine and Hazel's in Memphis, Tennessee, is one of the most haunted bars in America, with a long history of mystery, music, and murder. Originally a pharmacy in the early 1900s, the building later became a brothel and speakeasy, making it a prime location for ghostly activity. The two-story labyrinthine pub was originally a church, then a pharmacy, but has also served as a brothel and a jazz cafe. These are businesses that frequently have very devoted patrons. According to rumors, 13 separate people allegedly met their end within Ernestine and Hazel's walls, but none of them actually departed. Haunted history of Ernestine and Hazel's, one ghosts of the brothel's past. When the building was a brothel, there were reports of violence and even murders. Several women who worked there met tragic ends, and their spirits are said to haunt the upstairs rooms. Visitors have reported feeling uneasy, as if being watched, and hearing phantom footsteps on the stairs. 2. The jukebox with a mind of its own. One of the most famous ghostly happenings is the jukebox, which has been known to play songs on its own, often ones eerily fitting the moment. The jukebox will start up with a needle drop that seems disturbingly appropriate for the current situation. One employee tells a story about when she and a coworker were discussing James Brown when the jukebox started playing I Feel Good out of the blue. People claim the music changes to reflect the mood or energy of the room, as if spirits are controlling it, and there is also a piano upstairs that starts to play when there is nobody around. 3. Mysterious shadows and disembodied voices. Guests and employees have seen shadowy figures moving in the bar and upstairs rooms. Unexplained whispers, laughter, and crying have been heard, especially in the old brothel rooms. 4. Cold spots and objects, moving on their own. Sudden cold drafts appear out of nowhere, even on hot Memphis nights. Bar stools, bottles, and doors have moved on their own, sometimes in full view of patrons. A paranormal hotspot with sole despite, or because of, its haunted reputation, Ernestine and Hazel's is a must-visit bar in Memphis. Known for its legendary soul burger, eerie vibes, and music history, famous musicians like B.B. King and Ray Charles once passed through. It's a place where both the living and the dead seem to gather. Would you dare to explore the upstairs rooms, or would you stick to enjoying a burger and beer at the bar? The White Horse Tavern in Newport, Rhode Island, is the oldest operating tavern in America, dating back to 1673, which means it has centuries of history, mystery, and hauntings. With so much time and so many souls passing through, it's no surprise that the tavern is believed to be one of the most haunted places in New England. Haunted history of White Horse Tavern. 1. The Colonial Era Ghosts. The tavern served as a meeting place for colonial officials, sailors, and revolutionaries, some of whom may have never left. Patrons and staff have reported seeing shadowy figures dressed in 18th century clothing roaming the halls. The White Horse Tavern in Newport, Rhode Island, is the oldest operating tavern in America, dating back to 1673, which means it has centuries of history, mystery, and hauntings. With so much time and so many souls passing through, it's no surprise that the tavern is believed to be one of the most haunted places in New England. Haunted history of White Horse Tavern. 1. The Colonial Era Ghosts. The tavern served as a meeting place for colonial officials, sailors, and revolutionaries, some of whom may have never left. Patrons and staff have reported seeing shadowy figures dressed in 18th century clothing roaming the halls. 2. The Mysterious Man by the Fireplace. One of the most well-known spirits is a man who died by the fireplace centuries ago. In the 1720s, two guys entered the pub searching for a bed for the night. The owners discovered one dead by the fireplace. His apparition has been spotted sitting near the hearth, sometimes appearing solid before suddenly vanishing. Guests have also felt cold spots and heard murmurs near the fireplace. 3. The spirit of the sick traveler. In the 1720s, a traveling guest was found dead in one of the upstairs rooms, and some say his spirit never left. People have reported hearing heavy footsteps upstairs, even when no one is there. Some visitors have claimed to wake up feeling watched when staying overnight. 4. Disembodied voices and unexplained noises. Ghostly whispers and laughter are often heard when the tavern is nearly empty. Chairs move on their own, and doors slam shut without explanation. A haunted dining experience in history. The White Horse Tavern is still a functioning restaurant, where diners can enjoy classic New England fare, and maybe even an encounter with the paranormal. Would you visit for the history and food, or would the ghostly legends make you think twice about dining there? Muriel's Jackson Square in New Orleans, Louisiana, is well known for its delicious Creole cuisine, rich history, and strong paranormal presence. Located in the heart of the French Quarter, the building dates back to the 1700s and has a tragic past that many believe has led to ghostly hauntings. Haunted history of Muriel's Jackson Square. 1. The ghost of Pierre Antoine. Le Parti Jourdan. In 1788, the building was a home owned by Pierre Antoine Le Parti Jourdan, a wealthy man who lost the house in a high-stakes poker game. Devastated, he took his own life on the second floor, and his spirit is said to still linger in the building. The most haunted spot? The Seance Lounge, where he is frequently seen as a shimmering presence or shadowy figure. 2. The reserved table for the ghost. Out of respect for Jourdan's spirit, Muriel's keeps a table permanently set for him with bread and wine. Some nights, the glasses and silverware on the table mysteriously shift on their own. 3. Mysterious shadows and disembodied voices. Staff and guests have reported hearing whispers, footsteps, and even laughter when no one is around. Shadowy figures have been seen moving near the Seance Lounge and staircases. 4. Poltergeist activity, moving objects and flickering lights. Chairs, glasses, and plates have been known to move on their own, sometimes in full view of patrons. Lights flicker, doors slam shut unexpectedly, and cold spots appear even in the humid New Orleans air. A must-visit for ghost hunters and food lovers. Muriel's is a top destination for those who love haunted history, offering not just a paranormal experience but also amazing Creole food and cocktails. Would you sit at the Seance Lounge to see if Jourdan makes an appearance, or would you enjoy your meal from a safer distance? Subscribe for more real-life paranormal activities. Let me know which establishment have you been to in the comment section below.